Welcome back to the Inside VUE. My name is Jason Underberg, and I'm here with Brian Kovner. And today's an exciting day because it's our first show and our first time in 5 months that we actually have gotten haircuts.
Oh, wow, that's right. I didn't even realize that. I'm not wearing a hat today.
So yeah, it's kind of cool.
Shout out to Salon Concrete.
Shout out to Salon
here
Concrete.
In Red Bank.
Clipping us up.
Delivering the goods.
It's nice to actually feel like, you know, you could kind of move your hair around and you don't feel like you're a wheat terrier.
Great feeling. I did have an incident yesterday when I was getting my haircut. I hate to call them out, but it's all good. They did accidentally cut my mask when I had it on my face with the clippers because I had so much hair that we were trying to get in there. So thankfully, I did get a brand new one. And
I hope it wasn't like a really expensive
no,
mask.
it wasn't. Nowadays, it's less
It wasn't one of those like Chanel masks or Louis Vuitton masks.
That's a good reason not to invest into a super high quality. But otherwise, yeah, it's great to be, with the times.
Great to be fresh.
Great to be fresh.
Yeah, one thing that I was a little unhappy about with my haircut experience was that I guess you can't use blow dryers, which is just insane to me.
I can't understand that.
Because I had all the hair on me, and she's like, well, it was, great having you. And I'm like, you want to maybe clean me off with the blow dryer? And it was like, oh, we're not allowed to use the blow dryer. And I'm thinking, like, why not?
Yeah, why not? Did she give you a reason?
I think it blows around the bacteria or the potential virus.
That makes sense. Nowadays, you got to be extra careful.
This is the world we're living in. But in any sense, before we start with our show today, there is one thing I'd like to address. And I think that something that it's very important to me, and I just want to share it with everybody. I think that, for Brian and I, we've been publishing VUE magazine, and we've had the media company for several years now.
7 years.
7 years. And since then, there's a lot of people out there who, I guess, try to reenact and replicate the things that we do, which, of course, for us is a wonderful form of flattery.
Imitation is the best form.
It is. It's the best form of flattery. So, those particular brands, who I will not mention, they seem to be, doing what we do, but just a little bit later in the game. And I just want to say, for that point, I think it's great, and please keep doing it, but do it well. And I'll just leave it at that. If you're gonna be late to the game, at least do it well or do it better. So
well said. Look, I mean, it's very hard. I don't think any idea is original nowadays. I think we're all taking what's been done and evolving and providing our own twist. And we try to be trendsetters. And there are certain brands that we follow as an aspiration, but then we put our own spin on it.
That's right.
I think what you said is key, that we're not dissuading people from doing what we're doing. It's incredibly flattering. Just do it well.
Yeah, and maybe a little different.
Maybe a little bit different. Copying and pasting isn't the best way to go about it, but I guess
just get it right.
Yeah,
get it right.
If you're watching this, you know who you are, and if it doesn't pertain to you, then keep doing what you're doing, and we enjoy the love.
So today we are here with a very personal friend. Someone who we've done a ton of work with over the years.
He was actually the genesis, if you remember, of the first cover of VUE, and the second. Really our first two he helped coordinate.
So right? Allan Greenfield, who's sitting here next to us in the studio today, who is the sales manager from McLaren, North Jersey, and Aston Martin of Summit, New Jersey. He's been at the forefront of VUE magazine literally since day one. I actually remember walking into your office, 6-7 years ago, and giving you my little elevator pitch. And it was literally the first issue. And I said, we're building this great magazine, VUE magazine. And I really want Aston Martin in the magazine. Yep. And you looked at me, you were like, listen, dude, if you want to be friends, we could probably hang out. But I don't even know you, so I'm not going to give you $1 right now. And make a long story short, God, you helped us move mountains. I mean, we did quite a bit together. So
it's a great product.
Welcome to the show, man.
Thank you.
I'm so happy to have you here.
Yeah. Good to see you. It's been a while as well.
Yeah, it's been I guess almost a year.
It's been almost a year. We've done probably 10 events together.
Oh, yeah.
We've unveiled McLarens. We've unveiled Aston Martins. We've taken cars out on the track.
We've gone on boats.
We've gone on boats. We've done some really cool shit together. And, not to harp too much on how you've helped us, but, it was because of you that we met our first cover model.
Chris Collins.
Yes.
Chris Collins. You opened up several doors for us in the industry. And, we owe you one, man.
Oh, please.
So we're gonna go ahead and do a little cheers to start the show off. And,
Listen, kudos to you guys.
Yes.
The growth and everything.
Cheers.
Love
Cheers
being a
to
part
you.
of it.
Cheers.
It's not too early for a little glass of.
It's never too early for a glass of
It's 5 o'clock somewhere.
cognac from my friend Daniel Tyndall. So today we're gonna test drive a new car.
Yeah,
which is
actually the
exciting.
car that we unveiled last July. So a year ago, we unveiled this car in Englewood at the mansion.
Yep. At Michelle Pice's.
yeah.
We didn't get a
Gloria
chance-
Crest Estate, I believe
Yeah,
it was.
exactly.
We didn't get a chance to drive it though.
No.
That's what we're excited about today. We had a
Yeah,
chance to
so
do
at
everything
the
but get
time-
behind the wheel.
Yep.
Yeah, at the time that car was just a show and display.
Prototype.
Basically, yeah, it wasn't a prototype, but we weren't able to really put miles on it because it was
Yeah.
a pre-production model.
Yeah.
And now we have a car outside that we'll be able to check out and see what it's all about.
Yeah. I'm gonna probably open this thing up and maybe go, I don't know, 180, 190.
Why not?
I think that's
with
the
the
speed
golf
limit
clubs
here.
in the back.
Yeah.
With the golf clubs in the back, because it is suitable for a golfer. I mean,
It is.
Although it's a two-seater, plenty of room for the clubs.
Exactly.
Plenty of room for the
Yeah.
clubs.
We'll be showing more of that.
Which is key.
Yeah, I'm a big golfer, so Brian's a big golfer
Yeah.
too. So tell us a little bit about, some of the quick challenges that we've been hearing a lot about McLaren and some of the economic factors that have been happening pre and post COVID. Tell us a little bit about that, and then we'll get into the car.
Yeah, I mean, it's no surprise. I mean, it's all over, the media, they're talking about McLaren having financial issues, Aston Martin having financial issues. And
Sure.
a lot of that is tied in to COVID and what these companies have experienced, because with COVID, they had to shut down, so they weren't producing vehicles like they normally would. And without producing vehicles, which they then in turn sell to the different markets in the world, they're not generating revenue, and that's hurting them. So, yes, they're hurting, but they're not going away. It's kind of like a reset for everybody.
Yeah.
And I think that we're all seeing that in every industry.
Are you seeing less? Do you feel like less people because of COVID are buying these exotic luxury cars?
No, and that's the funny thing. So, we shut down our store, our McLaren store, in April. Towards the end of March into April and May, we were basically shut down, but working remotely. In April, we sold 6 new cars.
Wow.
Which is decent.
How does that compare, like last April, for example, 2019?
We were up. My recollection's correct, we were probably up at least 100%.
Wow.
Wow.
Going into May, we sold 9 new cars.
Wow.
We were 3rd in the country out of 27 dealers, and
So maybe it's like the opposite.
well,
It's like, fuck it, I don't have any money. I might as well buy an Aston Martin or a McLaren.
Yeah,
I mean,
a lot of people are at home. They have nothing better to do. Let's spend some money. I don't know if I'm going to make it to Christmas. I mean,
right.
but yeah, so we did 9 new cars in May,
Wow.
and it was impressive. It put us
Wow.
up. And in June we did 6.
That's awesome.
I'm sorry, 5, but still
Yeah.
up there. So, the good thing about it is our dealership is growing. We actually have a sister store that's opening down in Florida,
Oh, wow.
in Orlando.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, so
This way they can ride through Magic Kingdom.
yeah, so
The
that should be
McLaren.
happening in a couple months.
Well,
but-
it's good because, most Florida's like the 6th borough. So come wintertime,
well,
you get
the
so many
snowbirds.
folks. Yeah, you get so many snowbirds that.
you get.
Why Orlando? I'm curious. Why not, Naples or somewhere?
There's other
Miami.
dealers already established in other parts of the state, and Orlando seemed like a good spot.
Yeah, cool.
The
So-
owners are down there.
So let's talk about this car that we're
Yeah.
gonna go inside today, and we're gonna open up a little bit. So we've got the McLaren GT.
Yes.
2020.
2020, yep.
Yeah, 2000. Would have been an old one. The 2020 McLaren GT. Tell us about the car.
Yeah.
So GT, I mean, it's been out in the press. A phenomenal car. Very unappreciated, I want to say.
Okay. Why
in a
appreciate
sense,
it?
because, well, from our standpoint, at least from my standpoint, being in a dealership, you know, selling McLarens, you know, customers come in, they look at the cars on the showroom floor, and the car is a cleaner, sleeker look than some of the other models, so it may not be as exciting to people. But contrary to that, the car is such an amazing car drive-wise. You know, it's like it has dual personalities. When the car is in its normal comfort mode, like you can just drive it all day long. And that was the whole idea. So McLaren's approach was they were trying to, you know, appeal to customers that were looking at an Aston Martin, looking at a Bentley, but really maybe wanted something a little sportier. Because a lot of people don't realize GT cars, in the sense, originated back in the 50s. They were actually two-seaters anyway, and they were cars that people would drive to the track, put on the track, and drive home. But the GT car had a little softer suspension, or maybe softer is not the right term, more compliant, but it had storage. And that's what this car provides. But if you change the calibration on what McLaren refers to as the active dynamics panel and put it into track, the car rips. Like it just comes alive.
You can hear it coming from
Yeah, I mean, it's
a mile
just,
away.
it really gives you the best of both worlds. And again, the challenge is, but people, when they go to come buy a McLaren, they want something that just pops.
Yeah.
You know?
They're looking for like the Batmobile.
Yeah, but when I think it's a car that you have to drive and experience to really appreciate.
Yeah,
and
and
it's been a challenge for us. I mean, unfortunately, but once you drive that car and understand it, it's a home run.
Well, with that being said, I think we should get out there and
Yeah,
drive
we're
the car.
excited.
Yeah, definitely.
All right, let's go.
See you on the track.
So you guys ready to take it for a ride?
Let's do it.
Oh yeah.
Here you go.
All right. Ready?
Let's go. Let's do this.
All right, let's see what this thing's got.
Sounds good.
Oh yeah, that's got some power. All right, so while we're in the McLaren, I think we should talk about a couple throwbacks.
This is an incredible car, is it not?
Yeah, I'm having fun.
A
with
lot
this.
different. You know, I never asked you actually, because I know we didn't really grow up together. What was your first car that you owned?
First car I owned was actually a 1989 Oldsmobile Cutlass Calais Supreme. Car cost me $500. And I remember my dad, which at the time I hated him for it, but now of course I love him for it. He said, "You're buying your first car." I paid cash for it. It was $500 bucks.
Good for him. Good for you. It's a lot of money too when you're 16, 17 years old.
And I remember trying to make it look really cool. So I put a racing stripe on
an Oldsmobile
on an
Cutlass?
Oldsmobile Cutlass. It was a
Jeez.
two-door. It was a two-door. And yeah, I got a lot of shit for it. You know, my sister and everyone was like, "What are you doing? You're trying to have a sports car? You're driving an Oldsmobile."
Hey,
But
just that thought of freedom.
yeah.
You know, when you have that first car and you can go wherever you want, whenever you want.
Yep.
Wow.
What about you? What was your
awesome.
first car?
I actually beat you by 2 years older. I had a I don't even know if they still make them, 1987 Mercury Topaz.
Oh my God, a Topaz.
And it's funny, I grew up in Florida, so my AC unit was the 455 because I had no air conditioning. So it's roll all 4 windows down, go 55 miles an hour. That's how you get the air. And yeah, it was a beater. I had 100,000 miles on it. I remember the transmission dropped in the middle of the road after I had it for a couple years. And I literally just walked out and left the car there because it would have been too expensive to keep the car to fix it. So I had that car for probably 2 years.
2 years.
And I paid cash too, same boat as you.
Yeah.
My dad would
How much
not
was
help
it,
me
you
at
said?
all. If I had to get maybe $1,000, you know, 500 to 1,000 in
That's a
that
lot
range.
of
I don't
cash.
remember how much, but yeah, I mean, I was working since I was 13, so I had a couple years to save, but yeah, it was beat up, and I remember I put like stickers all over it to cover up little scratches and dents and rust marks. You know, and that was what, 20 years ago, and now we're in a McLaren, so come a long way.
We're borrowing a McLaren.
All right, fine.
You know what I say? It's better to borrow a car than it is to own one.
Hey, it's not where you live, it's where you pay rent, right?
So, while we're on this, I think this could be fun. Give me one, because you and I, obviously, you know, we're cousins, but we didn't exactly grow up together. Because you were in Florida and I was in Jersey.
Yeah.
So, give me one story that you really don't tell anybody, because it's borderline embarrassing, from when you grew up.
I mean, I don't know how you
And
know
I
that.
might not even know.
I don't think you know this, and I actually was just reminded on this the other day because, like, with all this COVID, people were like putting up throwback pictures, and this is when I was in college, so I was old enough to know better, but still young enough to make mistakes. And you know, I went to UCF, University of Central Florida, which is a big school. Still, I think it's the second or third largest college in the country, 55,000 students, and I was like part of the student body government and like director of public relations, and I had all these credentials, so I was actually lucky enough for the football games to be able to go wherever I wanted. I had full access. I was able to go on field, press box, and like I knew a lot of the executives within UCF. And of course, I was in a fraternity, so I was drinking, tailgating before the games. And I remember one particular game, I was done. You know, it was an afternoon game, and by the time the game started, I had definitely a few too many drinks. And I remember we were starving, and I told some of the guys, I was like, come, I can go to the press box. And I mean, I was beyond wasted. I remembered we went to the press box. They had an incredible array of food. You know, you name it, they had it there. And long story short, I might have thrown up on some of the food that was there for the president of UCF and some of the other executives.
Oh my God.
So at that point, moving forward, I wasn't allowed to. They kind of revoked my press credentials.
Yeah,
But
I can see that happening.
yeah, I forgot about that
You know,
story.
you've thrown up quite a bit of times with me drinking a little too much, so that's a pretty relevant
I'm not
story.
a big drinker, man. So what I do, it doesn't agree with me always.
Yeah.
What about you? What's something that I wouldn't know that's pretty embarrassing?
So this is a story that I don't think I ever told you actually. It's I was with Kim,
okay.
our
Our other cousin. Yeah.
We cut school one day. We were probably, I don't even know, we were probably like 13 years old, 12 years old. Maybe like 13, 14. And we cut school and we had it all planned out. We knew exactly what time my mother went to work.
Right.
Because my father worked all day. And my mother would go to work at 10 o'clock. So what we were going to do is we would go to the bus, act like we're getting on the bus, but then we would just kind of vanish.
Oh, smart.
We would wait till my mother left for work, and then we were going to go back and hang out at the house.
Oh yeah, all right. It's a nice day.
So we missed the bus. We go back to the house. We're chilling on the couch. It's a snowstorm this day. All of a sudden, it starts coming down, the snow. And we're so stupid, we don't think of anything. So all of a sudden, my mother comes home from work. And we're sitting on the couch in the living room, recliner up. We hear my mother come in. We bolt out the back door, and we go hide in my shed, which is in the back of the house. We go hide in the shed. We're freezing. We're sitting there with like trying to keep warm with each other. And we couldn't tell my mom that we were home because we would get busted.
Course,
So
yeah.
instead, we had to escape out of the shed at some point. We were venturing around the neighborhood. We had to wait till 3 o'clock until the bus came back.
She was home the whole day?
She was home the entire day. one standout moment, which Kim, if you're watching this, I'm sorry.
Does your mom know the story, by the way, or has she seen it for the first time?
We told her the story. But we really had to go to the bathroom.
Of course.
You know?
Yeah.
So there was one of my neighbors at the time had a big stack of tires in the backyard. Tall stack.
Oh, yeah.
We just took turns. We jumped right in that stack of tires, sat on it like it was a total.
Oh my God.
And, you know, we made do with what we could do. So we got away with it. Never got caught.
Oh, God. I feel bad for the neighbors when they had to move those tires eventually.
Yeah, and let's just say I never, ever, ever cut school again after that.
All right.
That was the last time I cut school. It was a valuable lesson that we learned.
I would imagine so. Jeez.
So.
Yeah. Were you a bad kid, would you say, or pretty disciplined? Just had those moments where every now and then we all rebel.
I was a little bit in trouble when I was younger. I didn't like school or going to school, or I always struggled with going to class. And I think when I was the only guy that probably paid for college and started cutting class. You know, maybe while I'm paying for it. So, yeah, school was never really my thing.
I hear you. Look, you know, you learn more outside of school, right?
You do. Yeah, man, this was fun.
Yeah, we gotta do this again sometime.
Yeah, let's do it again sometime. Woo! Now that's a ride. And we are back. I mean, dude, that was awesome.
That exhilaration was insane.
That car.
I didn't realize how much we were gonna open it up.
that was actually that was a lot of fun, and I thank Allan for letting us drive this car because,
wow.
I mean, definitely, I think I was under the impression that the car was really like it would have to be a secondary car, and it would have to be the kind of car
That's what I thought.
that I would just leave in the garage and I would drive it every now and then. But
Fun summer ride.
yeah, it was fun, right? But driving the car, especially when it's in the comfort mode, it almost felt like I was driving in my Mercedes. Like it didn't feel like I was in some sort of crazy sports car. But then when you turned it up into the sport mode,
you could feel the adrenaline start to pick up a little bit.
yeah, which is great. So I think that whole misconception of it's a second car is not necessarily true for the right guy. Now, don't get me wrong. I don't think the car is, I have a daughter. And I don't think we could, I don't think the three of us could go pack in the McLaren and go
unless
for
she goes in the trunk.
But right, unless she goes in the trunk where the golf clubs go. But for a younger guy, single
or girl,
or a couple without kids,
right.
or even just as a second car, the car held up a lot more than I thought it would. Pleasantly surprised. That was a ton of fun. I hope you guys enjoyed it. And if you'd like to check out the car more, you can go see Allan at Aston Martin Summit or McLaren in North Jersey. They got a full line of vehicles. It's been a real pleasure. And until next time, don't forget, it's all about the view.
We'll see you next time.